I want to see it. The top 10 good changes in... What was it? Good Star Wars Special Edition changes. Yeah, let's see them. Let's see them.
For Schaffrillas is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. A couple of nights ago, I decided to watch Star Wars for no other reason than it being Star Wars.
Yeah, you don't need much more reason.
Awesome. Usually I don't rewatch movies unless I'm preparing to make a video on them, or I'm showing them to someone who hasn't seen them before. But that night, I just wanted to treat myself. Star Wars is so fucking good, man. I'll watch it even if that rewatch doesn't contribute to a video. With that said, watching it gave me an idea for a video. See, I watched the original theatrical cut from 1977, which I have on DVD in a special 2-pack, bitches. So I could avoid this mistake. Among others. George Lucas really likes to change the original Star Wars trilogy with each new re-release, mostly for the worse by adding terrible CG bullshit and unnecessary scenes. This is why most Star Wars fans seek out the original releases of these films, even though they're not available anywhere legally besides these sick-ass 2-pack DVDs of the original trilogy that came out in like 2006.
Oh,
hey,
damn.
Disney, you guys know you can re-release the original theatrical versions of these films anytime, right? Well, like, George isn't in charge anymore. You can just do it.
I highly doubt they do it. They just don't care that much about Star Wars nowadays.
As God intended, but then we got to the explosion scenes, and it hit me just how used to the special edition versions of those scenes I am.
They add more flair to it, not gonna lie.
Explosion rings really add a lot of weight and impact, and it's a pretty unintrusive, cool change. And then I thought about it more and realized, hey wait, I actually like a few changes they made to these movies. There's a lot of improvements here and there that I would legitimately take while leaving others far, far behind.
The head shifting so that he can dodge. That is still like such a... That is my favorite. That is such a redonkulous change that it doesn't make sense. Look at this. If you ever wondered what superpower Han Solo has, it's literally neck shifting.
There's a lot.
Let me just... slow it down a bit.
Here
it is, here it is, here it is. I'll just mute it so you can see it. Just again. Just shifts his neck ever so slightly. Like, how the hell does he dodge lasers that fast? So close and personal, too. So hilarious.
The special edition changes I actually like, with the important disclaimer that none of these changes should be allowed to exist without the original versions of these films also being widely available.
Yes, that is something they need to fix at this point. Seriously.
And I wouldn't even mind most of the bad changes if the originals were just easily accessible to rewatch and show people for the first time. If we were able to watch the original version of Return of the Jedi, you can just consider the Jedi Rock scene to be a YouTube poop. A very, very bad YouTube poop for the original scene. But whatever, the changes aren't all bad. Here's the top 10 ones I like and would not mind being spliced together into versions of these films that keep these things, but take out all the bad shit. Also,
like calling it the Absolute Edition, the Ultimate Edition, the Master Edition. Like, actually, that sounds the best. The Master Edition. It's like keeping original stuff while also adding things that actually make sense to change.
Also, I want to reiterate, seriously, get your hands on these cool-ass 2006 DVDs if you can. Not only do they offer
I highly doubt I can find them here
on disc 2, but disc 1 has these super cool menus that actually change every time you insert the DVD. Like, sometimes for Empire...
when menus used to have some flair and actual purpose to them. I remember the Incredibles DVD had an awesome menu, even with the whole ordeal of finding out about the heroes, like the backlogs, they have that. I highly doubt I'd find any of these.
You're on Hoth, and there's all these unique menus related to different Hoth scenes. But you boot it up another time, and you're on Dagobah, which also has its own unique menus. And you do that again, and you're on Cloud City. This is the coolest shit ever, and I wish more DVDs did this back in the day. The prequels also have this feature too, and yes, I never owned the Phantom Menace DVD because I hated that movie even as a kid and never asked for it for Christmas. But yeah, these are the dopest menus in existence. Also,
I don't understand why people hate the Phantom Menace so much. Like, come on, man, it's been several years, just give it a rest.
So the original trilogy ones come with a demo for Lego Star Wars 2. This is the stuff dreams are made of.
What? Sorry, that's wild.
What was the topic of this video again? Apparently, George really fucked up the lightsaber effects in some versions of these movies. But one specific part I always appreciated in the special edition version were these two shots in the Obi-Wan and Vader duel, where the lightsabers just decided to not really work and turn into white sticks. Usually I don't let outdated effects take me out of a movie, and these kinda don't, but considering how immersive and impressive the lightsaber effect is 98% of the time, seeing Vader walk around with a big white stick for a few seconds kinda throws me off a little.
Yeah, it's kind of
Fortunately, this is rectified, and I feel like if all the special edition changes were like this, just simple fixes for actual special effect errors, then I doubt anyone would complain about them. Or maybe there'd still be a crowd of people demanding that Disney #release the white stick cut.
I highly doubt that.
Star Wars fans were talking about, so that would 100% happen. I don't know what the general consensus is with this change, but I personally really like how they removed Vader's eyebrows in Return of the Jedi. Even ignoring the stronger continuity this makes with Revenge of the Sith, I just never liked how this looked. The eyebrows are just so bushy and distracting, and
I mean, on one hand, I kind of like it because it shows that he's maybe healing himself with the dark side of the Force, like he's got some stuff together. But then again, why wouldn't most of his body heal up properly as well? Like the whole holes and like burns being a bit less obvious. It's a very interesting change, but yeah, I do agree that without the eyebrows, he does look nice. Oddly, it like brings him. It gives him much more flair. Weirdly enough, it like completes him more without the eyebrows.
Taking them out really sells the idea that Vader's just this tragic, fragile being beneath the mask. Since this is a really important scene that showcases an entirely new side of Vader we've never gotten to see before, I think this was a neat, worthwhile change. But then I guess Rebels implied that he did still have eyebrows, which I took as confirmation that Dave Filoni and his team considered the original theatrical releases of the OG trilogy to be the canon ones. I don't know, who cares? No eyebrow man looks better. Moving on.
Yes.
You and your eyebrows.
Wampa. I'm the snowman. Okay, so a lot of people seem to have a problem with the CG they added in the Wampa scene, and I have to agree. It does not look at all convincing. I mean, that's not even Luke Starkiller anymore. That's just Purple Guy. The Wampa looks like he was made for the Toy Story movie. This is bullshit. Okay, seriously though, I like the new Wampa scenes they added. Some people say they take some of the suspense away, but I'd argue they add more suspense. We've already seen what the Wampa looks like, so there's no reason to hide it. It's actually a lot scarier to show it feasting on the Tauntaun's remains. As
that's a special edition edit? I didn't know that.
Next. Plus, more blood, gore, and dismembered limbs is a good thing.
Yeah.
Search your feelings.
You know what? That is
to be true.
I had no idea the feasting part was added in. Huh. Cool.
The Himalayas!
Special edition haters, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Han chasing down 5 or 6 stormtroopers only to be greeted by an entire battalion of them is the funniest shit I've ever seen. The original is fine. Like, it's in character for Han to chase 5 or 6 guys into a...
I mean, on the one hand, I understand it. Like, they're trying to ambush him so that they can have the upper hand. But it's like, really? It ends on a cord, on a, like, an ending corridor or something like that, and even then it's just 4 people. With Han and Chewbacca together, they can easily take down these bastards. Meanwhile, in the special edition, it's like a gigantic hangar leading to a TIE fighter and multiple stormtroopers. It's like, oh shit, we're overrun. Get the hell out of there. It's like, it makes sense.
A corner and then realize, I never thought I'd get this far.
Yeah.
But the reveal of there just being 1 million stormtroopers is so fucking funny. It makes me want to merge without looking.
Please don't.
I'm sorry, you can call it unnecessary all you want, but it still gives me the big...
No, it's logical. Again, Chewie is like a giant, furry... No, not furry. a carpet tank in a sense. He can easily shred 3 to 4 of those bastards, and Han can easily provide the firepower, the blaster fire cover to basically take them all down. An entire hangar of stormtroopers, on the other hand, yeah, no, they'd get shredded. So yeah, it makes sense for them to fully retreat and run away.
Biggest laugh out of anything in A New Hope, whether that be from the original cut or the special edition. It's
Chewie's even using Chewie's even using like a heavy blaster too. So even though, again, he can easily shred them, but multiple, nah. We're finished.
Incorporated into the Death Star escape level in LEGO Star Wars. That's how you know you made it big. Also, I'll throw in a little honorable mention here to Open the Blast Doors getting added right before Close the Blast Doors. That's comedy gold right there.
Oh, that was added in? I had no idea.
Okay, I'm gonna be totally
yeah, that is very accurate to Tom and Jerry.
The Jedi Rocks dance number, in my humble opinion, is without a doubt the cringiest shit in any Star Wars movie, aside from the entirety of Rise of Skywalker. I hate it so much. But the scene right after with Jabba's slave girl Ula was actually pretty good. In the original, he sends her down a pit. It burns, but it doesn't really mean anything or leave any impact. He just has a hole in his floor, and something bad happens down there, I don't know. But in 1997, they filmed a new scene where she actually goes into the Rancor pit, and we got a tease that something's down there, which heightens the tension when Luke is negotiating with Jabba and standing on that trap door. Miraculously, the actress looks the exact same 14 years later, and it's all just generally very seamless. It actually enhances the storytelling by setting the Rancor up earlier without revealing what it looks like. Good job, Jabba. This almost makes me forgive you for the CGI cringe fest I just witnessed, except no, it doesn't at all. Okay, this change was actually really cool, and no one talks about it. So in Return of the Jedi, they added new dialogue to that one conversation Vader and the Emperor have on the Death Star. Palpy says, "Soon the rebellion will be crushed and young Skywalker will be one of us." And then Vader's like, "Yes, my master. But what do you plan on doing afterwards?" "I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. Perhaps I shall take up knitting and create a new line of wool stormtroopers that I can sell for profit."
That's cute.
But how will you create a website to promote your new business?
Oh, don't tell me.
It is simple.
I get it now. It's the
Lord Vader.
Skip.
I will use Squarespace. Once more, Squarespace shall have a sponsored ad. And we shall have pretty bitchin' websites. Wait, I'm confused. What is Squarespace exactly? Oh, hold on. I think I have an ad for it somewhere in the Death Star files. Let me see. Oh, yes, here it is. Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private work with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device, every time. And if you don't want that, you can always disable the mobile view from Website Manager. Buying a domain from Squarespace is simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top-level domains, so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or if you're feeling funky, you can get a more specific one like .art. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Schaffrillas to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So that scene was really good, but also I didn't put it on the ranking list because I forgore. Whoops. Oh well, back to the list. Yep, the impetus for this entire video existing. These explosion rings are so cool, man. I always picture them whenever I think of either Death Star or Alderaan exploding. The coolest one has gotta be Death Star 2. The way it follows the Falcon is just chef's kiss. So visually satisfying. The fact that the Death Star 1 has a vertical ring is maybe a little strange, but whatever. I guess it's
why not? Just have a little bit of diversity.
Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want me to say for these? It's just a cool new effect that really sells some of the most important moments in the series. It's
blast wave.
Moving on. I had a really tough time deciding where to put Return of the Jedi's ending, as well as which elements of it to include. I hate Hayden showing up as much as the next guy, so fuck that. I like all the planets celebrating, that's a fantastic idea, but that Wisa free shit really rubs me the wrong way. So at the end of the day, the only change I'm going to officially put in this spot is changing the music from Yub Nub to something actually good. Okay, I'm just memeing. I like Yub Nub, it's a cute, fun song, but is this any way to end a series? Like, damn bitch, we lived like this? The new song is gorgeous and a perfect note to go out on. If there was a version of the scene that kept the new song but returns to the original Anakin ghost, I'd be all for it. Make it happen, editors. Send it to me on Twitter. Oh, by the way, I have a Twitter. I always seem to get an influx of new followers every time I mention my Twitter in a video, since I guess most people aren't aware that I have one. So I have a Twitter.
I don't know if I should have a Twitter. I know it's a cesspool, and I'm not exactly, fond of going there, so nah, I don't need it.
Do your thing.
And I'm Kanye West.
Now, this is just really sweet and sad, and I can't imagine being upset with this change. And I also can't imagine why it wasn't in the original... cut of the film. Biggs is still mentioned in A New Hope, and he shows up flying an X-Wing at the end before getting killed. Having this scene before the Battle of Yavin, where Luke and Biggs get to reunite and briefly reminisce, is just really heartwarming. It's a great payoff to when Luke talked about him earlier in the film, and it gives his death actual emotional weight. It's not a pace breaker, it only lasts like 30 seconds. Why did George initially cut this? Oh well. I'm
no
just
idea,
really glad
but
they
it's
put it
George.
Dylan!
George of the Jungle.
Son of a bitch.
I probably ranked this higher than I should have since it's just an aesthetic change, but I honestly cannot get over how gorgeous the Cloud City vistas are in the special edition. They are just so aesthetically pleasing, and they make this feel like more of a world rather than a set. The beautiful skyline is a great juxtaposition to the tense chase scene set in the city, and they're so much more atmospheric than...
I mean, on the one hand, I like the white corridors stuff because it does look very, sleek and elegant. And while I don't mind having windows, the giant open areas do kind of not mesh that well with Chewbacca, Leia, and Lando passing by. It really does break the atmosphere. It just really shows how forced and tacked in those additions are. I get it, but it's still like, 50-50. I agree it does look beautiful. It's just, I don't know, something about a claustrophobic interior with like futuristic and sleek white corridors seems much more fitting, I guess.
White hallways. When I think of Cloud City, I always think of the special edition shots. They really add so much more to the film than you'd expect. It's also nice to get shots of the people reacting to Lando's PSA and seeing that this broadcast is citywide. And also, I'd like to award bonus points to George for not removing the guy who's just carrying an ice cream maker. This guy is an integral part of Star Wars.
Really?
I'm glad George wasn't too irrationally embarrassed to the point
that is awesome.
I cannot wait for Ice Cream Man, a Star Wars story, coming to Disney Plus today.
They're not that original, my guy.
Yeah! Ice cream!
Okay, real quick, some honorable mentions. The original cut of Empire had some weird transitions in terms of the score, where the screen would wipe and one song would abruptly stop in order to get replaced with a different song. It's nice that the special edition fixed this. Boba Fett's voice change is somewhat controversial. I think it's pretty raw that the original actor has essentially been removed from Star Wars, but it's still a good bit of continuity to add in the Jango Fett actor, especially now thanks to The Mandalorian really solidifying this guy as Boba Fett.
I honestly wouldn't have minded if he had like a different voice for the helmet for the original voice actor, but still kept the original voice actors, the actor that's playing Boba now in comparison to everything else. It's like, I don't know. Again, mixed feelings about this.
Ultimately, I'm torn. I don't really have a preference in terms of the line deliveries, and I can see both sides of the argument. I don't know, it's not the worst change. The original effect of Luke falling from the Cloud City shaft in Empire looks really shitty, to the point where it kinda took me out of the dramatic scene a little bit. So I was tempted to include the improved version on this list. But in 1997, Lucas decided to add the Emperor's scream to this scene? What? He took it out in later versions, but the fact that it was ever included at all makes me want to leave this entire scene off the best changes list as punishment.
I mean, honestly, this is George. Again, George of the Jungle, not exactly that smart or very inclined to do whatever he wants. And everyone's just like, yeah, sure, okay. Just don't fire me, I guess.
Also, let's talk about Yoda and the Phantom Menace, because George actually went back to this movie and took out Puppet Yoda in favor of CG Yoda. While it's now way more visually cohesive with the other two prequels, it's just so off, because Frank Oz delivered his lines in a very similar manner to the original trilogy Yoda, probably because he was still working with a puppet in Phantom Menace. So Yoda's voice in this movie is still very upbeat and fast, which is fine, but then you put on Attack of the Clones and he's slow as shit. The dark side clouds everything. The CG Yoda in Phantom Menace doesn't feel right because he doesn't talk the same way he does in Clones and Sith. He talks super fast and more jovially. But at the end of the day, I don't have to look at that weirdly shitty Phantom Menace puppet anymore, so I guess it's a good change. And
honestly, it does feel more lively when it's a puppet. Though I agree that it does look very uncanny in comparison to, like, everything else. But again, I don't know.
No, I'm really delaying the number one
feelings.
here, but I have to talk about my dishonorable mention. It's not the worst change, not by a long shot, but it is my personal least favorite, and no one ever talks about it. In the original cut of Empire, after Vader tries to convince Luke to join him and utterly fails, the next time we see him, he just says this to his troops.
Bring my shuttle.
Very blunt, very curt. He's not in the mood for his usual verbose language. He's fucking pissed, and you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah, that
so then
tone
George
is
changed
very
it for no
aggressive.
reason and just made it any old line. Now he's just telling them to alert his Star Destroyer to prepare for his arrival. This man just watched his son attempt to kill himself rather than join him. This is not how he would act. Obviously, the no scream in Return of the Jedi is worse, but this scene also just represents a fundamental misunderstanding of Vader's character, and I hate it more because of how invested I was in that original line, and how James Earl Jones delivered it. Whatever, f it, I guess. It doesn't matter. Here's my number one. Yeah, you knew this one was coming. The old Emperor sucks.
The iconic Emperor puppet that was changed with the classic Emperor from the prequels. Yeah, everyone, I think, unanimously agreed that that is the best change.
Some lady in makeup that they superimposed chimp eyes onto. The voice actor honestly sounds bored. We're supposed to believe this guy is above Darth Vader, but James Earl Jones is running circles around this guy's delivery, both in terms of intimidation and actual acting. I'd like to believe that if I saw this movie for the first time in 1980, without knowing anything about Ian McDiarmid's portrayal of the Emperor, I still wouldn't be impressed. I'm sorry, I know this weird off-brand f***ing Dr. Bob-ass version of Palpatine has its fans, but I'm not one of them. And even if you
Bob
like
version,
this portrayal of
is-
Palpatine, I have
that
no
is
idea how you would
golden.
ever justify keeping it in over the Ian McDiarmid version. It just doesn't make sense continuity-wise to have this abomination in favor of the real Emperor, who was established as such later on in this trilogy. It's not like this is a fairly unnecessary prequels deep cut like Boba Fett's voice is. This is just a matter of bringing this movie in line with its direct sequel, and the iconic portrayal of this character that Star Wars fans universally love. The special edition Emperor, or should I say, the actual Emperor, or should I call him Darth Sidious, is oozing with evilness. If you're watching these movies in release order and this is your first exposure to Palpatine, you immediately get
I'm not adding you to Discord.
why this guy is above Vader. And yeah, they slightly alter the dialogue since now Vader asks how it's possible that Luke is the offspring of Anakin. I mean, hey, it's in line with Revenge of the Sith's events, and it's easy to assume that Vader is lying to Palpatine here. He knows Palpatine was lying about Padme's death. He literally tells Luke in this movie that they can overthrow Palpatine. He actively knows that Palpatine's a lying piece of shit at this point, and he's just feigning ignorance about Luke's origins in this scene. The Sith are all about lies, deception, and betrayal.
Trickery.
And so none of the dialogue changes in the scene are a problem. They all make sense. I don't want to hear any arguments with this change in particular. If you're showing someone the original versions of these films as their first exposure to Star Wars, pause Empire when you get to this scene, boot up Disney Plus, show them the new version, and then continue on with the original. Actually, now that I think about it, you could probably just get away with showing them the special edition of Empire. It really doesn't have any problems outside of that one Bring My Shuttle line that I'm still mad about. But yeah, that's all the special edition changes I really like and even love in some cases. I really wish there was a convenient way that I could pick and choose the changes that I would keep while preserving the original versions of other scenes that got completely bastardized by special edition changes. Oh well, the moral of the story is that
Like I said, the Master Edition. Best of both worlds.
sometimes fixing things is good. Parts of the special editions are really sexy, and I'm tired of pretending they're not. But it really doesn't matter because the original versions of these films still aren't widely available, which makes these new versions a load of bantha poodoo. Why would you go through the trouble of adding the Jabba scene back in when they literally repeat the same lines verbatim from the Greedo scene? Why is the CGI incomprehensibly bad? Why does Boba Fett look at the goddamn camera? Why is Greedo wandering around in the background when he just got shot? You can't make this shit up. And do I even need to talk about Greedo and that load of McClunky that is his scene? Disney, I am begging you, please re-release release the good version of A New Hope. The one that isn't even called A New Hope because that title is stupid. It's Star Wars. Star Wars is Star Wars. Star Wars is Star Wars.
Yes, we get it. Jeez, man. Relax. Blu-ray edition. Ray, if she was an alien. Oh, that's hilarious.